Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Nasir Ali Shah. Students, we are reading the text of the third lesson of the textbook Why Boys Fail in College, written by Herbert E. Hawkes. The writer of this essay is a renowned educationist, and in this essay he has described different reasons or different causes of the failure of boys at college level. Also, he suggests some remedies for them, for the failing students. So far we have read the first category which the writer tells us of the failing students, failing boys at the college level are those boys who suffer from nervous habits. They are unable to concentrate on the tasks assigned, and in this manner they just waste their time thinking that or supposing that perhaps they are studying, but in fact they are not studying, they are just wasting their time. And the writer suggests for them that they should take themselves by the collar and create in themselves poise and calm which smothers the fidgets. The second category which we read in our previous lecture is another common cause of failure of boys at college level. It is such a boy who is forced by his parents to study some specific subjects. More often it happens that the parents want their son to be a doctor or an engineer or a dentist or something else, choosing the profession of their own choice for their son. Whereas the son or that particular boy who either does not have the ability to study those subjects and join that profession of the choice of his parents, or if he has the ability to study those subjects, he does not want to study those subjects, and in the end he fails, or even if he does not fail, he is unable to get good marks in those subjects, and hence ultimately he cannot choose that profession for his career in his life. Students, we were reading this second paragraph or this second category. The writer, in fact, the writer tells us that he has made a number of warm enemies among the parents of the college students by telling them that he is sure that the good Lord never intended their son to be a doctor or an engineer or a dentist. It means that the writer himself has made a long and hard investigation about the causes of the failure of students, and whenever he met such students and interviewed them, he came to know the causes of the failure of such students, and they told that they were forced by their parents to study some specific subjects. To continue this text, we are to start it ahead in the second paragraph. It may be that the writer says in the next line, it may be that the boy has ability enough to be any one of these things, but the long and short of it is he does not want to be. It is possible that the boy is not a dull student, he is not an unintelligent student, he has the ability to study those subjects, and he can become any one of these things, or he can go into these professions chosen by his parents. But the long and short of it is, long and short mean the essence of the matter, or in a nutshell, the matter is that he doesn't want to be, means he does not like those subjects or he does not like that profession. He wants to be a theatrical manager or a businessman or a book illustrator. It may be that instead of becoming an engineer or a doctor or some other professional, he wants to become a theatrical manager or a businessman or a book illustrator. Book illustrator is the one who makes illustrations for the books. It may be unreasonable for the boy to turn his back on a fine opening in the dental profession in favor of business. Unreasonable means irrational or absurd. It means that if that boy can find a fine opening in a dental profession, means by becoming a dentist, if he is able to continue his profession very successfully, it would be definitely absurd or unreasonable or irrational for him to turn his back, to turn towards some other profession. So it would be unreasonable for him. But reason cannot control all these matters. Reason means mental learning or common sense, or in simple words, here we can take its meaning as a wisdom or intellect. Reason cannot control all these matters, mean intellect or wisdom cannot control all these matters. As well argued with a person that he ought to like onions when he detests them. It is just like that. When if a person dislikes onions, dislikes eating onions, detest means dislike or hate something. If a person hates eating onions, there would be no use of arguing with him that he should like onions. It means that no matter how much you argue with him that onions are useful for health or beneficial for health in so and so manner, if he detests them, if he dislikes them or hates them, he would never uh, pay heed to your arguments. As a general thing, the boy wins out in such controversies, and he should. Moreover, the writer tells the consequences or results of such an argument or conflict between the parents and their sons. He tells that normally it happens that the boy wins out in such controversies. Controversy means argument or conflict, and he should. This is the opinion of the writer, that he should win. Means if the student has to lead his life, he should have been given he should be given a choice of the subjects and choice of his profession of his choice. Also be it said, means after having said that, the parent whom I have offended, means the parent of such a boy whom I have offended or whom I have made in the past, I have made my enemy, usually comes round after a term of year. Usually that parent or father of the boy comes round to the writer after a year and tells me that his son was right, and he admits that his son was right in this conflict, and his means the father's opinion was wrong, and that he is thankful to me for taking the part of the boy in this argument. Moreover, the person whom the writer had offended by telling him that he should not force his son to study some specific subjects, that in this manner he wouldn't be able to pass or wouldn't be able to go into that profession, he becomes his warm enemy. But after a term of year, he comes back to the writer and tells him and thanks him for favoring his boy's argument or taking the part of the boy in that argument. If such a boy fails, now here the writer gives us the conclusion of this whole discussion. If such a boy fails, it is because he cannot bring himself to try to do the work that is distasteful to him. It means that if such a boy fails, it is not because he is an unintelligent student or he is a dull student. It may be that he is very intelligent and very sharp mentally, but he just fails because he cannot prepare himself mentally to do the work that is distasteful to him. Distasteful means unpleasant. He does not like it, and that he feels. And moreover, about this profession, he feels that is leading him in the wrong direction. He thinks that it goes in the wrong direction and takes him in the wrong direction, not in the direction of his choice. If the college is alive to its work of advice, such cases are caught before the failure is complete. Now here the writer, as usual, along with every cause of the failure of the boys at college level, here again the writer gives suggestion as well. And what does the writer suggest? He suggests that if the college is alive to its work of advice, it means that the responsibility of the college or the college teachers and college authorities is not just to teach the students. Their responsibility is to give some career guidance advice to the students. So it means that it is the duty of the teachers or the whole of the college authorities, if they are alive, means if they are perfectly doing their work of advice, such cases are caught before the failure is complete. So such cases are caught or can be pointed out just at the start of the classes or start of the session. Within the few days, the teachers can notice some students who are disinterested in their studies, and by interviewing them they can ask them the cause or the reason of their disinterestedness in the studies. And if this comes out to be the reason that the student is himself an intelligent student and he wants to study, and if this reason comes out that he has to study the subjects of the choice of his parents which are forced upon him, and he is forced to study those subjects against his wish and will, so the teachers should give some good advice to the student, as well as they should meet the parents of the boys and give them some good advice for the benefit of the student, so that he may not fail completely after a term of a year or 2 years, and instead of wasting those precious 2 years of his life, he can be given the choice of studying the subject of his own taste and choice. Students, this is enough for today's lecture.